The LPW40WN fully manual belt drive turntable with integrated motor speed sensor, lightweight carbon fiber tone arm, and VM95E dual moving magnet cartridge is a precision instrument designed for optimal high-fidelity reproduction. Before you can use your turntable, it needs to be set up. Carefully remove the turntable from the box and make certain that you have all of the parts and accessories. Place the turntable chassis on a firm level surface. The drive belt is pre-installed on the platter. The red ribbon is used to place the belt over the brass motor pulley. Remove the tape securing the red ribbon to the platter and carefully push both ribbon ends through the platter opening. Carefully place the platter with installed drive belt onto the spindle and make certain it is fully seated. Rotate the platter by hand until the opening with the red ribbon exposes the brass motor pulley. The brass motor pulley is located near the upper left-hand corner of the turntable opposite the tone arm. While holding the platter steady, using both ends of the red ribbon, carefully place the belt over the motor pulley. Once the belt is seated in the pulley's groove, carefully remove the ribbon and verify the belt is not twisted. Place the turntable mat on the platter. Next, assemble the tone arm. Carefully remove the twist tie and foam used to protect the tone arm during shipment and secure the tone arm to its rest with the locking clamp. Attach the headshell cartridge assembly by inserting it into the socket at the end of the tone arm. While holding the headshell in position, rotate the headshell locking ring counterclockwise. As the ring rotates, it pulls the headshell into its seated position. Tighten carefully. Next, install the counterweight, making certain that the black stylus force gauge dial is oriented toward the front. As you rotate the counterweight, it will thread onto the tone arm. Now we will balance the tone arm, set the tracking force, and adjust the anti-skate for the VM95E cartridge. This important process allows the cartridge to track properly, and failure to do so can cause the stylus to wear prematurely and possibly damage your records. First, set the anti-skate adjustment knob to 0. Carefully remove the stylus protective cover by sliding it straight forward off the front of the cartridge, exposing the stylus. Raise the tone arm lift lever and, while gently holding the headshell to stabilize the tone arm, release the locking clamp. At this point, the tone arm is unbalanced and can easily swing. Be careful not to damage the exposed stylus by dragging the cartridge across the platter mat. Next, while gently holding the headshell, rotate the counterweight until the tone arm is horizontally balanced. It should hover freely, just above the platter, and not touch the platter's surface. Once the tone arm is balanced, without touching the counterweight, carefully move the tone arm over to its rest and secure it to the rest with the locking clamp. Now set the stylus tracking force. Every cartridge has a recommended tracking force. Setting the tracking force too light can cause the stylus to skip out of the groove on loud or dynamic passages. Setting it too heavy can cause excessive wear on both the stylus and records, resulting in audio distortion or channel imbalance. The recommended tracking force for the VM95E cartridge is 2 grams. Locate the black stylus force gauge dial on the front of the counterweight. Marked with numbers and lines indicating different tracking forces, the dial can rotate independently of the counterweight. Without turning the counterweight, carefully rotate the stylus force gauge dial until the 0 on the dial lines up with the center line marked on the top of the tone arm. Now set the tracking force by rotating the entire counterweight assembly in a counterclockwise direction. As you rotate the counterweight, note the gauge dial rotates with it. Continue turning the counterweight until the 2 value on the gauge dial lines up with the centerline mark on the tone arm. You now have set the tracking force correctly for the VM95E cartridge. If you ever change out the cartridge, remember you must rebalance the tone arm and reset the tracking force to the value required by the new cartridge. The turntable has an anti-skate force adjustment. This small outward force is applied to the tone arm to compensate for the natural skating force that pulls the tone arm toward the center of the record. For best performance, during normal turntable operation, set the anti-skate adjustment to the same value as the cartridge tracking force. For best performance, the turntable should be level. Using a small bubble level, adjust the turntable's feet as needed to make certain it is level. With the turntable assembled and leveled, power and audio connections can be made. First, connect the AC power adapter cable to the turntable and plug the adapter into a convenient AC outlet. Next, plug the dual RCA audio cable into the output connectors on the turntable. The turntable provides a traditional phono output along with a built-in magnetic phono preamp, providing an RIAA equalized line level output. This makes it compatible with traditional phono inputs on amplifiers and receivers, along with AUX or line level inputs on powered speakers, amplifiers, and other audio devices. If your audio device has its own RIAA magnetic phono preamp, simply set the phono line output selector switch on the rear of the turntable to phono, bypassing the turntable's internal preamp. If you are connecting to an AUX type line level input or powered speakers, place the output selector switch in the line position to use the turntable's internal phono preamp. If your audio device has a separate ground terminal, connect the spade lug on the dual RCA cable to the grounding lug on your audio component and the turntable to help minimize hum. The turntable comes with a clear plastic dust cover designed to protect the turntable when not in use. It should remain off when records are playing. For more information, visit us on the web at www.audio-technica.com.